Don't stress, live life one day at a time. Don't drink or drugging, you'll be fine.
Welcome back to Staying Sober with Papa Joey. Today I'm going to talk about something that's been bothering me for quite some time. If you've watched some of my other podcasts, I've mentioned it. And that is there are these people on Facebook that keep popping up on my feed, and they've got a new program out there, how to help people get sober. Well, or quit drinking or change their relationships with alcohol, something like that. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the advertisement of one of them. In my next video, I'm going to talk about the second program, but I'm just going to run the video and you'll hear what I'm talking about.
In 2025, alcohol is not a performance-enhancing drug. Yet for some reason, as a business owner, an entrepreneur, or a high-level executive, a leader of a company, a leader of a family, you find yourself choosing this over your responsibilities. Responsibilities of a man, responsibilities of a father. How do I know? Because I did the same thing. It's been almost 10 years since I was a slave to this. For 21 years of my life, I drank and I drank and I drank. And I thought that I could conduct business over drinks. It would make me more powerful. I'd be a better businessman. I'd be a better father. I'd be a better friend, but it was a lie. I want to help you figure this out. I'm also here to tell you that you don't ever have to just completely stop. And I know there's going to be a lot of people like, that's not true. You're going to get people killed. Like, the message is wrong, fraud. I hear it over and over and over. And that's okay for those people out there. But for you, you know that you are meant for more in your life. You know that this needs to no longer be the center focus of your relationship, of the arguments with your wife. When your kids are coming or you're afraid to tuck them in because you smell like alcohol, it's time to stop. Man, I did this. Man, I felt it. Man, I've watched thousands of men come through this thing. I've watched people die because they chose alcohol over this, but not you. You still have a choice. You still have a chance. Listen, alcohol is not a high-performance enhancing drug. As a matter of fact, it's a gateway to mediocrity. This is the gateway to being mediocre. Go look at the people in the comments. I put together a video. I show you how to do this. I'm not here to insult your intelligence. There's other ways to go. AA, NA, sobriety recovery, there's free routes. I work with a very select type of person. Men who are elite, men who want to win, men who want to make money, men who want to be good fathers, men who want to be good husbands, leaders. If that's you, this is going to resonate with you. If you don't like the way I talk, get lost. Click the link, watch the video. I'll see you on the other side.
Whoa, that's pretty intense. Now that gentleman, his name is Mark Jennison, and he created a program called I'm a Comeback. Very interesting. We'll talk a little bit about that. Okay, so here's the deal with me. You know, I've been sober a long time, going on almost 33 years. I've seen and heard about all these new ways of quitting drinking, stopping drugging. I mean, it's like every couple of years there's something else out there. There's a new hack. And unfortunately, especially because of the internet, you can put whatever you want out there, and there's always going to be somebody out there that may believe you. Okay, so with me, though, I can take these gurus that are on Facebook promoting, you know, how to sell real estate and make millions of dollars, or buy real estate with no money down, or how to create a course and make yourself millions of dollars, or, you know, you've seen them all on Facebook. I can put up with those. This stuff bothers me because I truly believe that there are people out there that need help when it comes time to stop drinking or drugging. Matter of fact, I know there's people out there. The sad part is there are people out there that play on these people's emotions, while many of them could be watching it online, drunk or high, and listening to people such as Mark, and they think to themselves, yeah, this is what I need. This is what I need. This guy gets me. But let me tell you something. First of all, this guy Mark. Now, let me see. I did a little research on him, and I went to some forums where people have attended his courses or his program or whatever, And of course, most of it was negative. What a shocker. But you're going to find that online with a lot of things. Then I decided to book an appointment with somebody from his company. So I filled out the information online, and the next day I got a call from somebody. Very nice guy, but it was basically a sales call. Tried to close me in the one day, and asked me if I had a problem with drinking, or how's my drinking going. And I said, it's going pretty well. I drink a lot. And he asked if I was ready to quit. I said, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I'm thinking about it, but if I can just control my drinking a little. And then he mentioned that what they try to do is help people switch their relationship with alcohol. Okay, it's not like I never heard that before. I said, oh, that's interesting. And also, they're going to help me with my finances. They're going to help me with my business, my family. What else did they say? Relationships, health, get me back into shape. And they're going to try to do this all within 45 days. And if I wanted to stay longer in their program, and then there was another fee for that. So this guy was pretty upfront. I believe the cost was either $5,000 or $6,000. I had it written down someplace, but I just couldn't find it. It was either $5,000 or $6,000 for the 45 days. And after that, if I wanted to hang out on their meetings and their Zoom meetings online and stuff, I just had to pay a monthly fee. And I want to say that was about $500 a month. So what are they actually doing? All right. Well, there's a bunch of videos you watch in those 45 days online. And I guess, because I didn't go to it, so I didn't sign up or anything, but from what other people tell me, you go through these 45 days, you do some work that they suggest you to do, you go to their Zoom meetings, you listen to some of their coaches or whatever. They've got a community that you can get involved with, but it's basically, just a bunch of guys holding other guys accountable. I did a little background check on Mark, not that, anything bad or anything, but he worked in I think it was a trucking company with a family member, did pretty well, but got into a little problem with some drinking and drugging. I mean, nothing new, that happens. However, created problems with his family life, and for 3 years, he was in and out of AA and rehab. Until one day, he finally figured out that alcohol wasn't the problem. It was just a symptom. There were some other issues deep inside of him that he had to correct or change, and that was the problem. Wow, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty deep. However, if he said he went to AA and also treatment centers, I'm sure they talked about alcohol was only a symptom, right? So clearly, Mark wasn't listening too well. But all of a sudden, he figured it out that, hey, I got to get to the root of my problems, and then everything is going to be okay. And what I'm going to do then is go around and tell everybody how I was able to change my life, and I'm going to start charging money for it. But the interesting part is, now that's great. That would be a great story. It would really be a wonderful story, I would think. Guy was down and out and, created a whole new way of getting sober. But there was this one thing, and I think you heard it on that little clip I played, where he says you don't have to quit drinking. Whoa, you don't have to stop drinking? Whoa, well, wait a minute. And he was right. He said people are pissed when he says that. Well, yeah, because if you really have a drinking problem or a drugging problem, you got to quit. There's no controlling it. And if you're the type of person who actually can control their drinking, then maybe you don't really have a drinking problem. You're just making a choice to have a few cocktails, and maybe once in a while it gets a little out of hand for you and you end up getting yourself into a little bit of trouble. That happens all the time. But if you're a real heavy, hard-hitting drinker, or if you're into drugs, man, you don't want to go any place that's going to kind of teach you how to control that drinking or that drugging. Now think about it for a moment. Just stop for 1 second and think about that. So you're able to control your drinking, maybe, and you're feeling pretty good. Hey, look at this. I've been able to control my drinking thanks to this program. I can have 2 or 3 drinks. I guess that's what they mean by they're going to change your relationship with alcohol, and maybe you'll change that relationship so well that you'll never have to drink alcohol again. However, if you're fooling yourself thinking, hey, listen, I understand why I drank. You know, it was because of this or because of that. No, I can have 1, 2, or 3 drinks and I'm going to be fine. Maybe. Just maybe. But what if he's totally wrong? Maybe you're not that person. Maybe you're fooling yourself. You have 2 or 3 drinks and you're doing okay, and then you hit it again. And you hit it hard. And that time you hit it hard, you end up getting yourself into a lot of trouble. Maybe a DUI. Maybe get yourself into an accident, you get hurt, or maybe even worse, you run into somebody, hurt them, or kill them. Or maybe you got a family member in the car. When you were telling them, oh no, man, I got my drinking under control. I got this whole new relationship with my drinking. I got this thing. Yeah, all us guys talk about it in these rooms. We know how to control it. Yeah, well, good luck. I hope it does work for people. But I know for me, that would never work. I drank for my buzz and I wanted my buzz. That's why I understood back when I went to AA the first time and I stayed sober since the first time I went, which was August 31st of 1992, I understood I can't put alcohol in me. I may want to. I may want that buzz. I can't do it. Or I correct myself. I can do it if I want to. I choose not to because I know that I'm going to take it to the next level. Maybe not the first day, the second day, the third day. One day I'm going to take it to that next level. So I'm not going to risk it. But I guess he could teach people how to get a whole new relationship with their alcohol. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Unless the person who was taking his course really doesn't have an issue with drinking. He could take it or leave it. Then I can see it happening. I can also see him being somewhat of a life coach. Because if he's going to teach you how to, fix your finances, be a better business person, better health, getting better health. Now, on one of the forums they talk about that he promotes the carnivore diet. I've been doing the carnivore diet. I actually like it. So there's got benefits, but I'm not looking for that if I'm trying to figure out how I can stop drinking or drugging. Because you know what my saying is on this show. You don't drink or use no matter what, and no matter what means no matter what. Now, if you listen to what I say and took his course, and you keep my words in your mind, guess what? I bet you his course works. All right? Because when I went to AA, it worked because I figured out early on I can't put alcohol in me, no matter what. So I don't. And I've talked to a lot of people, and they always ask me, how'd you get sober, Joey? How did you stay sober? Holy shit, you've gone through a lot of stuff in your life. I don't put alcohol in my system no matter what. Yeah, but there's got to be something different. No, there's not. I don't drink alcohol. I know what it does to me. I know what it can do to me. I can't do that again. And I didn't have to figure out why I drank because I didn't care any longer why I drank. I focused on why I'm not drinking. I don't, there's the memories are there. I know what happened. I learned, but I don't dwell on it. I know why I don't drink today, and that's it. That's what I tell people. And trust me, I've had people contact me, want me to put a course together, and I can get out there and sell the way I talk here on, my channel, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do this. But anyways, after I had that call with the gentleman, he did say that I could sign up that day if I want. He would direct me to the website, and all I had to pay was $5 or $6 grand. I'm not sure what it was. And hey, I'm in the elite program of men, because he's only looking for men who are successful, tough, leaders. He wants the leaders, elite men. Well, how elite are they, if you think about it, if they're drinking and drugging all the time? Are they really elite? I mean, when I went to AA, now I met a lot of successful people there. They were doctors, lawyers, builders, contractors, painting contractors. One guy built, commercial buildings. My best friend is a financial investor, or he's an investor, millions of dollars. I mean, a lot of heavy hitters, man, a lot of money. But you want to know what? They all humbly walked into a room of AA and said, you know what, I need help. And none of them, I'm telling you this, not one of them thought their shit didn't stink. They didn't pat themselves on their back because they owned a business or that they had a few bucks in the bank. They walked into an AA room. Some of them came from treatment, but they came in and said, I need fucking help. All right, they didn't give a shit about the attitude, like, I'm a tough guy. I'm a big shot. They're looking for help. And here's the thing. It is free. He said at the end of his video, Mark, it's free. And if you want to do there, you want to go that. And if you don't like the way I talk, well, the hell with you. Seriously? Is it really somebody you're going to go to for help? I mean, I've sat in the rooms with some people in AA that were pretty down and out, man. And they did some really bad things, okay? I didn't get cocky with them. I didn't shoot my mouth off. I listened to them. And, yeah, sometimes, you got to be honest with them, but you don't stick your chest out and act like you're a tough guy to try to get somebody sober. I understand it. Don't get me wrong. I understand it. He's making his living doing this. And I'm sure it's lucrative. If you catch somebody at a weak moment in their life and they got a few bucks, and you can, pay $5 or $6 grand right away, and the guy who was talking to me, he basically gets between 20 and 25% for the closing. So if he was able, we'll just say it was $5 grand. If I went online and signed up, chances are he put $1 grand in his pocket. That was his pay. Not a bad gig, I guess. But I don't know. I've always said I don't push AA, but I'm telling you, a lot of these people who got their programs and stuff, it's just parts of AA turned around, reworded. There's nothing new. This program and the other one I'll be talking about, there's nothing new with what they're doing. Except this guy here is, I guess there's somebody who's going to talk to you about your finances, help you build a business or whatever. I don't know. And why would you pay $5 grand to somebody who you have no idea what they really have done, or maybe the person that's going to coach you, what he or she has done? Well, actually, there's no she, because they only want men. That's it. And they want men who've got money. Because if you don't have money, well, damn it, there's that AA for you. You go try there. I only want to work with leaders. Mark is probably the guy, he's probably younger. I'm sure he's younger than me. I'm 64 years old, so he's probably in his 40s or something. But he'd be the type of guy that I would have drank with years ago. You know, cocky, big mouth, because that's how I was when I was out there drinking. But I'll tell you one thing. Ever since I've been sober, I've never once told somebody, let me show you how to control your drinking. You know, because it ain't going to work. I know people who weren't big drinkers that stopped because they just figured, you know, alcohol really wasn't doing anything for me, except I noticed I put a few pounds on. I was drinking wine every night. I get home from work, I'd have a couple glasses of wine, but then I started feeling in the morning, and I noticed I put weight, so they stopped. No big deal. You know, it was just a little lifestyle change. But if you're a drinker or you're into somebody with drugs, and I hope if you're into drugs, whatever you do, this ain't the place for you. All right, I'm telling you that. Now, if he got a little bit of a drinking problem and you just want to join a club with a bunch of dudes and walk around, pretend you're tough guys, and then this may work for you. And I hope it does if you really do have a drinking problem. But, you know, he did say he helped 13,000 people. Helped them do what? I don't know. Quit drinking, cut down on their drinking, lose weight. I don't know, because they don't really say. Some of these people who create these programs like to say how AA doesn't work. They got a really small success rate, which is bullshit, because there's no way you can measure the success rate of AA. Because when I went to AA, I didn't fill anything out. Nobody fills anything out. Nobody knew my name. Well, they knew my first name, you know, my name and last name, my address, unless I told people my phone number. They don't give a shit. You know, they want you to show up, sit down. If you're hurting, talk to somebody. They've got steps to do that can help you, you know, with your, you know, some issues you may be going through. If you want to do the steps, if you don't do it. I know people just went to the meetings and got a lot out of the meetings. I mean, and the one thing that's great about the meetings are you hear some good shit, and the stuff you don't like, you just go, okay, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to listen to that. And it's no big deal. I mean, I went to meetings for like the first 4 years, and then because of, I was in the nightclub business, right? Nightclub business, and I quit drinking, and I'm sober, and I quit smoking at the same time. Working in the nightclub business back then, you could smoke in the bars. So I was around it all the time. But I understood for me why Joey doesn't put alcohol in him. Okay? So I didn't do it. But, you know, you got to be careful. That's all I'm saying. When you see advertisements like this, just realize it. They're paying Facebook a lot of money. They've got to make their money. And most of these courses, right, they record them once and they just put them on a cycle. So they hope they get a new group of people in to start. They run the same videos over, and you know, hopefully it just generates cash for them, because that's what it's all about. You know, treatment centers, yeah, it costs money, but they also have a facility they have to manage. There's professionals there that they have to pay. So there is some expense. Here, you're just sitting at your computer, basically. I mean, there's no expense. So you got to think about it. Also, you know, they only want to work with men. So if you're a woman watching this and you need help, you're shit out of luck. All right, go someplace else. So, be very careful. That's all I'm saying. Now, if this guy watches it, I'm sure he's going to be pissed. If he wants to talk to me, I have no problems talking with him. I just, what he's selling, I'm not buying. All right? And the main reason, when you tell somebody you don't have to quit, that's not a good thing to do, in my opinion. Anyways, remember, what do I say? Don't drink or use no matter what. No matter what means no matter what. Stay tuned for the next one. It'll be up hopefully in a couple days. There's going to be another gentleman. He's got a different twist on his so-called program, something very unique. Oh, another thing. You take this guy's course, you got to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Ooh. You know, they want to make sure that all this doesn't really get out there. I mean, it's crazy. It really is. But unfortunately, nowadays, you got to be careful what's out there. So I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Think about your serenity. Be grateful for your sobriety.